Spring is often sold to us as a season of new beginnings, a fresh start, a reason to swap everything out, your wardrobe, your look. But a full reset really isn't necessary to elevate the clothes that you already have. You don't need a whole new wardrobe to make your outfits feel more current or more 2025. Sometimes it's just about rethinking the pieces that you already have, or just adding one or two new things that can completely shift the whole vibe of your outfits. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Marie and I'm all about making fashion make sense. And if you've been craving a little bit of a refresh, here are 10 simple but very impactful ways to update your spring and summer looks on a budget. So let's start with probably one of the easiest ways to update any look, and that is to incorporate unique jewelry. Statement jewelry is making a huge comeback, but it's not in the loud maximalist kind of way that we've seen in the past seasons. This year, it's all about boldness, but with intention. So think architectural shapes, clean lines, and pieces that almost feel like wearable art. This kind of jewelry has deep roots in fashion history, and the sculptural jewelry trend draws inspiration from mid-century modern designs. And these kind of organic and fluid shapes have changed how people see everyday jewelry. Vogue recently called out this shift toward intentional maximalism, where the pieces are bold, yes, but they're also refined and more thoughtfully styled. You'll see this in the sleek cuff bracelets that are trending right now, curved metal rings, and geometric or oversized pendants that instantly elevate any outfit. These aren't accessories that you throw on last minute. They're meant to be part of the outfit, almost like the finishing layer. I have been obsessed with this melted Cartier watch that Sofia Richie kind of went viral for a while back. You know, the one that costed like $200,000 or something crazy like that? Well, I found a pretty good alternative that's giving Cartier without the Cartier price tag, and that fits perfectly into this unique jewelry trend. I have been wearing this watch nonstop, which is from the brand called Pascal, who is also the sponsor of today's video, so thank you so much, Pascal. And as you might already know, I have collaborated with Pascal in the past, and I am a huge fan of the brand. So since I already have another watch from them in gold and brown, I had to get this one in black and silver because, you know, I like to switch things up. But if you did want a similar vibe to Sofia Richie's watch, they do also have this one in gold and brown, and a few other colors if you like to spice things up. I feel like this piece is so my style. I love how it's bold but still minimal enough to work with pretty much any outfit. And when I tell you, this watch feels like it should be way more expensive than it is, but instead of focusing on status and sky-high price tags, Pascal is all about quality, sustainability, and making timeless elegance accessible to more people. This watch has this modern, sculptural, clean, and curved design that's so unique, and inside you have these lab-grown diamonds, which means no mining, no displacement of wildlife, and no harm to communities or the planet. And at the back we have this beautiful detailed clasp with a patent leather wristband. You can find out more about Pascal and their collection through the link in the description box below. There you will also find my exclusive discount code that will save you 15% off your next Pascal order. Now let's get back to the video. So now on the other side of this unique jewelry trend, we also have playful and colorful jewelry still going strong, especially with that Y2K influence still lingering. So beaded necklaces and colorful details are a fun contrast to an otherwise minimal outfit, and I feel like they add a little bit of youthfulness without being too overly trendy. So how you can tie in both of these directions within the unique jewelry trend with clothes that you already have is to focus on balance. So whether you're wearing sculptural silver pieces or leaning into a more playful color, the key is to let the jewelry speak and then keep the rest of the outfit clean and minimal. Then the second tip is a big one, and that is animal print accessories. So animal print isn't exactly new. This is one of these trends that never really goes away. It always comes and goes, and it just keeps coming back in different forms. And right now it's having more of a quiet comeback, I would say. So it's not really about going full on statement. Think about it less as a bold print and more as a texture. So this year it's about using it in smaller, more intentional ways, like a leopard print belt or a snake textured shoe that will instantly make your outfit feel more styled without looking like you tried too hard. So what I think is really interesting is that animal print is being treated more like a neutral this year, and Vogue even called it one of the go-to quiet statement pieces of 2025. And I personally love to reach for animal print when I want a basic outfit to feel a little bit more elevated. It's just such an easy trick to just pull everything together. And really the best thing is that you don't need a whole new wardrobe to participate in this trend. Really just one accessory is enough to completely change the whole vibe of the pieces that you already own. And then we have scarves, which I've already talked a lot about on my other social channels, and they are really set to be everywhere this season, and not just in the traditional ways that you might expect. Scarves have really gone far beyond their typical use, and now they're really one of the most creative styling tools that you can play around with. But this isn't the first time that scarves are having a big fashion moment. Think of the 50s and the 60s, where icons like Audrey Hepburn wore them tied around her head or her neck, and then again in the early 2000s when they became part of that Y2K boho aesthetic. But now 2025 is giving scarves more of a modern high-low twist. So right now they're being styled in ways that feel both intentional and effortless, wrapped around baseball caps, woven through braids or ponytails, tied onto bag handles, loop through belt hoops, or drape over the shoulders like a shawl. And I've even seen silk scarves styled as belts around trench coats, blazers, summer dresses, something that Harper Bazaar recently mentioned being one of the key micro trends to watch out for this spring. And of course, the classic Parisian style neck scarf hasn't gone anywhere. Whether tied loosely around the neck or layer under a collar, it adds just enough texture and contrast to make a simple outfit feel more elevated. And what I really love the most is just how much versatility you can get out of one piece. A scarf can bring in color, pattern, and dimension without really overwhelming your look. It's really such an easy way to refresh your basic and add a touch of personality without spending a lot or changing your wardrobe entirely. And then we have brooches. So for a long time, brooches had a little bit of a reputation that were often associated with vintage heirlooms, royal family photo ops, or your grandma's jewelry box. But now they're not just for decoration, they're used as actual styling tools. Think pinning an oversized tee at the waist, gathering a knit sweater, or closing up a button-up shirt in a way that reshapes the entire silhouette. Even on recent runways, brooches have been styled more as a functional piece, used to shape, close, or transform your clothes rather than simply embellishing or decorating them. And that is really what I think makes them so exciting right now, because it's not just about pinning them on a blazer and calling it a day. It's about using them to completely shift and transform the whole silhouette, structure, and vibe of your outfit. What I really love about brooches is how they offer a very low commitment way to experiment with structure. You could really add one to an outfit that you've worn 100 times, and then suddenly it feels like a whole new look. Then we have the belting everything trend. So belts have officially gone from being an accessory to being the actual centerpiece of a look. This year they're being styled over just about everything, from cardigans, blazers, tops, dresses, and even lightweight coats. It's a really simple way to add more shape and structure to an otherwise more casual and relaxed silhouette, and making your outfit feel more styled and intentional. And while studded belts and rope belts are definitely having their big moment right now, you don't need to follow this trend exactly. Any belt that you already have can work here, and the key is really how you use it. Personally, I really love how this trend plays so well with other elements, like the bold jewelry trend that we just talked about, for example. Pairing a belt with sculptural earrings or a chunky cuff makes even the simplest outfit feel so much more modern, elevated, and fresh. Next trend that you can do on a budget is red undershirts. So we all already know that red is trending, especially red bags, shoes, scarves, hats. And while that can look nice and cool, I feel like it's starting to feel a little bit expected. Not boring, but just, it's already done. So this year, the more interesting way of incorporating red into your wardrobe is not through accessories, but through layering. Try layering a red long sleeve tee or a tank under something simple like a white button-up, a cardigan, a basic long sleeve, or even a crew neck or a v-neck sweater. Let just a little bit of it peek up at the neckline or the sleeves. It's just a subtle accent, but it feels way more intentional and just bold enough to catch the eye without overwhelming overpowering the look. And what makes this trick work so well is the contrast. A flash of red against mostly a neutral look adds that tiny bit of tension and energy that instantly makes an outfit feel more styled. It's a really small and simple detail, but I feel like it says a lot. Next, we have brown stockings. So while black tights is a classic, this season brown stockings is stepping in with a softer, more elevated feel. It's the kind of subtle shift that doesn't seem like a big deal until you see the difference that it makes in your outfit. While black can sometimes feel a little bit stark, especially in daylight or paired with lighter colors, brown tights is going to bring in that warmth that's more in line with the soft neutrals and cream tones that are trending this year. It's a natural pairing with ballet flats, loafers, and even strappy heels, and I feel like gives that polished, I didn't try too hard vibe. According to The Cut, brown tights are one of those small style decisions that can make an outfit feel more current without trying to follow every trend. So in short, if you're looking to update your spring outfits without doing anything too drastic, this is definitely the easiest swap to start with. Then we have a trend where you might not even have to buy anything new. So right now it's not just about what you wear, but it's about how you wear it. And this year layering is getting more experimental and basics are being styled in ways that feel fresh and a little bit unexpected. You can try half buttoning your shirt and tucking it into your trousers to shape your silhouette a little bit differently. Patterns, especially the classic striped top that always comes back every season, are being layered in more creative ways too, and textures are getting mixed more freely. So suede, for example, which are known for being more used in the fall, is stepping out of that lane and showing up in spring outfits paired with airy cottons or silks for a fresh contrast. And what I love most about this trend is how accessible it is, and it kind of feels like a quiet rebellion against fast fashion's constant push for newness. So for this trend, you really don't have to buy anything new to participate. All it takes is the willingness to experiment with the basics that you already own. Next, we have cuffed hems, which have cycled in and out of fashion for decades, from 50s pinups to early 2000s street style, but this year they're back with a more refined twist. We're seeing them styled everywhere, from runways to editorials, often paired with sleek flats, boots, or pointed slingbacks to spotlight the shoes. Whether they are pre-cuffed or DIY'd, rolled up by hand, they add a bit of structure and contrast, especially to straight leg and wide leg denim. It's a really easy way to sharpen a casual outfit without feeling too styled. And if you're DIYing it with some jeans that you already have and you want the cuff to hold all day, you can just easily pin it. You really don't have to buy any new jeans. You can just fold the ones that you already have. And if you got shorter legs like me, this trend is basically built-in tailoring, so it's just a win-win. Now we've come to the final last trend, which is probably also the most controversial one, and that is dresses and skirts over pants. This one is definitely a wild card, but when it's done well, I think it can look surprisingly modern. So the dress over pants look first hit mainstream fashion in the early 2000s, but the 2025 version is much more refined. So instead of bright minis over skinny jeans, we're seeing flowy slip dresses layered over tailored trousers, or A-line skirts paired with wide leg pants and loafers. And I really think that the key here to make it work is balance. So keep the fabrics light, the proportions intentional, and the color palette cohesive. Think more editorial than experimental. A recent piece in ID called this one of the season's most wearable odd pairings, and it's easy to see why, but I think it's also a smart way to extend the wear of your spring pieces, and it can add some depth and definitely interest without feeling too over the top. And there you have it. Those are the 10 simple and unique ways to upgrade your spring and summer outfits on a budget. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot to push these videos out in the algorithm. Thank you so much, Pascal, for sponsoring today's video, and don't forget to check them out in the description box below. There you will also find the links to my other socials and information on how you can book a styling service with me. So whatever content you like to consume, or wherever you are headed next, I hope to see you there or here in the next video. Bye!